Have you ever pursued a dream, maybe, so relentlessly, so singularly, that it starts to just consume everything?
Oh, yeah. Like, it takes over your whole world.
Exactly. Perhaps a dream of, I don't know, huge wealth, or maybe recapturing a love you thought was lost, or even just fitting in.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when that dazzling hope, the thing that seems so bright, actually reveals something much darker, maybe even tragic underneath?
That's a powerful question.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into one of the most, I think, iconic and debated novels in American literature, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby.
A classic. Published back in 1925.
Right, and it's not just a story, is it? It's this vibrant but also kind of volatile snapshot of the American Roaring Twenties.
Definitely. Often called the great American novel, and a timeless tragedy, which really captures it.
So our mission with this deep dive is to unpack that core story, look at these really fascinating characters, and dig into its powerful messages, the ones that stick with you.
Things about the American dream, materialism, love, they're all in there.
Yeah, exactly. We want to pull out the most important nuggets, those surprising bits, so you feel truly well-informed by the end.
That was good. Where do we start?
Okay, let's set the scene. Our narrator, he's key, is Nick Carraway. Young guy, Yale grad, moves to Long Island, specifically West Egg.
Ah, West Egg. And that's important, right? Fitzgerald's geography here is very deliberate. West Egg is the land of new money.
Yeah, the flashy, maybe less established side,
Precisely. And that's crucial because it stands in stark contrast to East Egg.
right across the bay.
Yeah, East Egg is where the established old wealth lives. Inherited fortunes, entrenched social standing.
And that's where Nick's cousin, Daisy Buchanan, lives with her husband, Tom.
Tom, yes. Arrogant, very socially prominent, and right away, Nick gets pulled into their world through invitation.
You immediately see the difference, the tension almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These distinct social strata, the subtle but really powerful friction between old and new money, it's there from page one.
And smack in the middle, or rather across the water from Daisy, in West Egg, we find the main man himself, Jay Gatsby.
The enigma.
Totally. This mysterious millionaire lives in this just colossal mansion, and he's famous for throwing these incredibly lavish parties, like all the time.
Almost nightly affairs, drawing crowds from all over.
But here's the thing that always gets me: this huge public spectacle, constant noise, people everywhere. Yet Gatsby himself seems profoundly alone.
That paradox is central, isn't it? All that show, but deep down isolated. So what's his story?
Well, that's the big reveal, isn't it?
It is, and it's fascinating because Gatsby's true identity isn't Gatsby at all initially. He was born James Gatt.
Right. Humble beginnings.
Very much so. From poverty in the Midwest, his immense fortune is entirely self-made, a real rags-to-riches story on the surface.
But like you said, it's not just about the money for him. There's something else driving him.
There absolutely is. He has this one single, all-consuming goal: win back Daisy Buchanan.
His past love. The one who got away.
Exactly. They were in love years ago, but 5 years prior to the novel's start, she married Tom. Why? Well, for his established wealth, his social position.
Which Gatsby didn't have back then.
Not at all. So it really makes you ask, what kind of drive, what kind of obsession almost motivates someone to build this entire empire, this grand persona, all for one person?
Is it pure love? Or is it something more tangled, like trying to literally buy back the past?
That's the million-dollar question with Gatsby.
And the story really kicks into high gear when Nick, almost accidentally, becomes the go-between.
Yeah, he arranges a meeting, a reunion.
He helps Gatsby and Daisy reconnect, and bam, that old romance flares up again.
It really does. And this is where you see that collision course you mentioned earlier. This, well, seemingly pure, idealized love crashes right into Daisy's very pragmatic, maybe even mercenary marriage.
And speaking of that marriage, Tom Buchanan.
Wow.
He's quite the character. Fitzgerald doesn't pull any punches. Tom's portrayed as, arrogant, openly racist in the attitudes of the time, and deeply unfaithful. His affair with Myrtle Wilson is a major part of the plot.
Absolutely. It makes it pretty clear his marriage to Daisy isn't about love. It's status, appearances, maintaining their position in that old money world.
So when Tom finds out about Daisy and Gatsby,
he doesn't just react emotionally. He strategically sets out to destroy Gatsby. He digs into Gatsby's background.
and reveals where all that money came from.
Exactly. He exposes Gatsby's illegal activities, bootlegging, maybe worse. There's mention of drug trafficking connections in some interpretations. The source of all that flashy new wealth.
which puts Daisy in this terrible position.
An excruciating dilemma. Gatsby's offering this intense, maybe naive idea of true love, reclaiming their past.
Versus Tom, who offers security, material comfort, social standing, everything she's known.
It's a brutal choice, really. Idealism versus a very comfortable reality.
And all this tension, it just keeps building until it finally explodes. There's that really hot, oppressive summer day trip into New York City.
Oh, that scene in the Plaza Hotel. The air is thick with unspoken things.
Tom, Daisy, Gatsby, Nick. It all comes out. And Tom just lays into Gatsby with this incredibly cutting line, basically asserting class superiority.
He says something like, "You're a low-class person. Daisy could never be with you."
Oof. Just brutal. A raw reminder of that class divide Gatsby tried so hard to overcome with money.
He thought wealth could erase his origins, but Tom throws it right back in his face.
And the aftermath of that confrontation, the drive back,
Yeah,
that's where it turns truly tragic.
it really does. On the return journey, Daisy is driving Gatsby's distinctive yellow car. She's upset, agitated.
And she hits someone.
Yes, she accidentally hits and kills Myrtle Wilson, Tom's mistress, who had run out into the road after a fight with her husband.
A terrible accident. But what Gatsby does next?
It's striking, isn't it? His immediate reaction is to protect Daisy. He tells Nick he'll take the blame, say he was driving.
It's presented as this noble, almost chivalrous sacrifice, his final act for her.
Which makes you really question the nature of that sacrifice, Is it love? Or is it clinging to an ideal that maybe isn't real, especially given who Daisy turns out to be?
Yeah, that question of Daisy's worthiness,
Yeah.
it hangs heavy because the consequences spiral so fast.
They do. Myrtle's husband, George Wilson, is obviously distraught. Tom, in his own callous way, subtly directs Wilson's grief and anger towards Gatsby.
He lets Wilson believe Gatsby was not only the driver, but also Myrtle's lover, which wasn't true.
Right. Wilson, consumed by grief and misinformation, gets a gun, goes to Gatsby's mansion,
Finds Gatsby floating in his pool.
shoots him, kills him in cold blood, and then turns the gun on himself.
Just like that. Gatsby's dream, his meticulously built world, destroyed in an instant. So violent, so sudden.
And what really hammers home Fitzgerald's critique, I think, is the reaction or lack thereof from Daisy and Tom.
They just leave.
Pack their bags, go off to Europe, no grief, no accountability, no looking back. They leave the mess. Gatsby's death, Wilson's death, all of it behind them.
Untouchable. Insulated by their money and status. It's chilling.
Utterly chilling. It shows the moral emptiness Fitzgerald saw in that upper crust.
So, okay, we've walked through this intense, affecting story. What does it all mean? Why are we still talking about The Great Gatsby almost 100 years later? What are the big takeaways for us?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's that critique of the American dream, or at least a certain version of it.
The one based purely on getting rich.
Yeah, that unchecked materialism. Gatsby fights so hard for wealth, for love, he achieves the wealth part, but it ultimately destroys him. His very pursuit of this dream, which for him was so tied to reclaiming the past, trying to buy back time and Daisy.
It became his undoing.
Exactly. It suggests that maybe that version of the dream, the one built on just accumulating stuff or trying to repeat the past, is inherently flawed, maybe even bound to fail.
So that really makes you think, doesn't it? How much are we chasing idealized versions of things rather than, I don't know, building something real in the present?
Precisely. And that ties into the other big theme. Materialism versus idealism.
Gatsby versus the Buchanans.
Absolutely. Gatsby's love for Daisy, okay, it was obsessive, maybe misguided, but Fitzgerald presents it as fundamentally idealistic. He truly believed in that pure, perfect past moment he wanted back.
Whereas Daisy and Tom, their relationship, their whole lives, seem driven by status, money, social convenience.
Comfort within their gilded cage, as you said. They chose the easy, established path.
And the consequence of living in that superficial world. Well, we see it at the end, don't we? The funeral.
Oh, the funeral scene is just devastating. All those legendary parties, hundreds of people coming to drink his liquor and enjoy his hospitality.
And almost nobody shows up to his funeral. Nick, Gatsby's father, owl eyes from the library. That's about it.
It's such a brutal reveal. It strips away all the glamour and just exposes the hollowness, the transactional nature of that world he tried so hard to belong to. Even all his money couldn't buy genuine connection or loyalty.
It's a truly stark image. No wonder people call it the great American novel. These themes, love, class, the struggle, the broken dreams, they still feel incredibly, almost uncomfortably relevant today.
They really do. And Nick's final thoughts in the book kind of wrap it all up.
The green light.
Yes, the green light. He talks about Gatsby's unwavering belief that he could change the past, that he could reach that green light at the end of Daisy's dock, this symbol of everything he yearned for.
Hope the future, Daisy.
All of it wrapped up in that distant light. But Nick concludes, ultimately, that you can't repeat the past. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
That sense of futility, trying to move forward but always being pulled back. Wow.
No amount of money, no amount of wanting it can truly turn back the clock or reshape what's already happened. It's a poignant, maybe even a tragic conclusion.
So we've journeyed through Gatsby's tragic story, seen that sharp critique of wealth and class, and really felt the disillusionment with a particular kind of American dream.
A powerful story with layers upon layers.
We really encourage you listening to think about how these themes, aspiration, wanting things, the consequences of our choices, how they might resonate in your own life, or just in the world around us today.
Absolutely. And perhaps leave you with this thought. If that green light represents some kind of unattainable ideal, some perfect future or reclaimed past,
Yeah.
what green lights might we be chasing in our own lives, you know? And maybe more importantly, at what cost?